Okay, in this episode of Outdoor Zombies, I will be doing a quick review and my quick thoughts of the Lansky Sharpening System. Stay tuned. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, preppers, campers, hikers, whenever and wherever you're watching this. You're watching another episode of Outdoor Zombies, where I try my best to share, demo the gear that I buy and the places that I hike and camp to, and hopefully all of us can learn something. In this episode, we're going to take a quick look at the Lansky standard sharpening system that I've had for a little over a week. And I'm just going to give you my initial thoughts on it, and then we'll go from there. So basically, I'm new to the world of knife sharpening, and I thought this was kind of an important video to make because I've gotten some pretty nice edges off of the blades that I've attempted to sharpen. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. Not really to knock myself, you know, but I mean, if you have any sort of skill in knife sharpening and then you use this system, you'll see that you're going to be able to get a pretty close factory edge on it because it controls the angle. There's different angles you can use with this system as far as the type of knife that you're sharpening. So let's pop it open. I've already used this, as I mentioned. Now, I just want to point out a few things before we begin. When you first get this kit, these rods are all snapped into place. Now, someone else had pointed this out on another video. When they're snapped in here, they're in there pretty snug. Too snug. And it is a little bit of a hassle to pop them out. Now, they're probably... I mean, I guess if you use these enough, they'll start to stretch. But the problem with them is that they bend the rods. Even though you'll see later, you may have to bend some of these rods when you get them set up on the hones to get a level angle. So the angle that you're using with the clamp is accurate as possible. But you want to be able to do that on your own, not through, these plastic clamps causing bends that you weren't intending to put into the rods. As I was saying regarding these rods, because they stick in here so well, I don't even bother, and because of the fact that you can end up bending them, when I go to close up the kit, I just keep them in like that. I keep a dime in there, and that's for tightening this. You could use a screwdriver, but why? Just more space. Or if you have a multi-tool, you can use the screwdriver that might be on that. So the knives I've already tried sharpening with this, and I've gotten a pretty darn good edge, is my my zombie neck knife. When I first got this, it was dull. And I didn't use the coarse hone. I just went to the medium and then the fine. And by the way, as you can see, there's other slots where you can expand this kit. Yeah, so I was able to get a pretty good edge on this. You can sharpen bigger knives with this, except you have to do it in stages. I was able to sharpen my... Oopsies. I was able to sharpen my Marine Raider. I didn't make it razor blade sharp, but because I primarily use this knife for splitting. But anyways, yeah, I was able to sharpen a knife this big and this thick with it, but I had to do it in stages. I had to undo the clamp, move it, and so forth. Okay, I'm going to set this up. I'm not really going to give so much as a tutorial on how to use it. I will quickly demonstrate it. There are other videos out there that do a fine job with technique in using this kit. So the kit comes with, the basic standard kit comes with 3 hones. You have your coarse stone, which is 120 grit. You have your medium stone, 280 grit. And finally, you have your fine hone, which is 600. You can go much higher than that. The next one I want to get is 1200, I believe. And I may look at getting a coarser one. So it does give you the option to expand the kit. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you go to set these up is the rods go in this way here. Just going to loosen the thumb like that. Now, we're not done yet. Two things you want to make sure is that it's in line with the actual hone, and not only like that, but that the bottom of the rod is also flush with the bottom of the hone. And the way to do that is on a flat surface, like so. Everything's in line, pretty much, yes. There. And then you just want to, now it will move a bit, just gotta play with it a bit. And you can rest it on a flat surface, and you can't see so much from the camera when it's down like that, but it is in line. That's in line. So don't over tighten this, but you do. I find these do sometimes loosen. Just give it a little tighten there. Okay, so let's just lay that over there. Now, as far as putting your knife in the clamp, if you look at the clamp itself, there's a little shelf, I guess, where the blade will sit in, and then the clamp will go down on it like that. That works for, you know, it'll work for most blades, smaller blades. I couldn't use that for my Marine Raider. It would have never held it. I actually had to really open this up and slide the edge of the blade, because it's a 1/4-inch blade in here. This opens up more. My trusty dime. Now, the other thing you might want to do as well, for two reasons, is the end of the blade that you put into the clamp. You might want to put a piece of tape over to protect the blade, because when the clamp squeezes down, there's a good chance it's going to leave a little bit of a mark on your blade. And if you want to keep your blade nice and shiny, tape will protect it. Another function of the tape is that it will prevent the blade from moving as easily. I'm not going to bother with this one right now because I don't have any tape handy. This was a cheap knife. I'm not too worried about it as long as I get a nice edge. So what I'm going to do, because this is a small knife, I could get away with putting it like just on the that little slot I was showing you. And maybe that's what I'll try this time. So you want to tighten the top one first just a bit. I mean, just enough to hold the blade, but the main tightening happens with the red bottom bolt or screw. I wouldn't go overboard with tightness either, because you don't want to break it. I mean, that's why the tape on the blade helps a lot for gripping and protecting the blade. Okay, so let's lay that right there for now. And the kit, as you saw, comes with some honing oil. So since I've already used this stone here, it looks relatively clean, but you always want to oil your stones. Just a few drops. And what that does is the metal shavings that come off the blade, the material, actually I put too much on there, will clog up the actual stone, and the oil helps float those particles to the top, and then you can get a rag and just wipe it off. And then pre-oiling it will help reduce that the amount of particles. Now the clamp comes with different angles. You can sharpen your knives at 30 degrees, 25, 20, and 17. For most outdoor knives, you know, you can go 20 or 25, even 30 for that matter. When you're getting down to 17, you're probably looking at stuff like, you know, razor blades, for example. Okay, so actually that's it there. I usually just hold it in one hand like that, and I was using 20 degrees, and you always want to slide toward the blade. And now, like I said, I'm not going to get into technique because there's other videos out there for far more experienced people. I'm just going to quickly show you what you end up doing. So, and then of course you want to try to even out on this side. Now this is a very high level, brief demo of sharpening on this. As I mentioned, once again, go check out other videos on the net, because I'm not going to come across as a expert in this. As I indicated, I'm a newbie, and I am not expecting you to. But I mean, you just, if you're thinking of buying this kit, this is pretty much what you're doing. Yeah, I'm going to work on that later. That's getting even better. So the whole purpose, like I said, of the video is just to give you an idea of what you're getting and what to expect. And I paid $28 for this kit. You may be able to get it cheaper. I mean, really, you could probably end up getting. You could probably end up getting a kit that includes more stones for ultimately cheaper, but I will be expanding on this. In any case, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Comments are much appreciated. If you are an expert on this case or this kit, and your input is much appreciated as well. If you're currently not subscribed to the channel, I'm looking at building my subscriptions, and I'd really appreciate if any of this is of interest to you to subscribe on the button that's down below. Once again, thank you very much, and happy trails.